everyone, and welcome to the Let's Talk Seahawks podcast. We have breaking news for you today, and that is one linebacker, Bobby Wagner, has signed with the Seahawks. That's right. Our team captain, our future Hall of Famer, will be manning the middle of the field for our defense. Adam, let's talk Seahawks.
Let's talk Bobby. Look, this has been a long time coming. I think I don't know anybody that's on Seahawks Twitter right now that wasn't just blowing up excited. I mean, there were people crying, or at least typing that they were crying, calling their families, hugging each other. This is probably the greatest moment of the offseason for me thus far. We haven't had the draft yet, but I don't know if it's going to get any better than bringing Bobby back home. Ever since he was released by the Rams to create cap space, this has seemed like an inevitability to me. Then there was that long wait period. We saw them sign Devin Bush. We heard from John Schneider that they were in talks with Bobby, and nothing happened for a week, and then more than a week, and then almost 2 weeks, and then finally today. I don't know about you. I was losing hope a little bit. There were some questions, especially after the Devin Bush signing and knowing where we were at cap space wise, about whether or not this was still going to be a thing. Kudos to John Carroll or John Carroll and Pete Schneider, Pete Carroll and John Schneider for keeping this pretty mum, because this came out of nowhere for me today. When the update hit my phone, or the notification hit my phone, I almost dropped my phone. I was just like, I was at work and I'm like cheering. People are like, what's wrong with this guy? But yeah, just so excited. This is perfect. Even if it wasn't Bobby Wagner, they needed to bring a guy in to work the middle alongside Devin Bush, a veteran, someone that has some experience in his system. And the fact that it's Bobby is just icing on the cake.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I am absolutely thrilled by this. I know some people say that he's in decline. It's just not true, right? People are like, oh, he's not the guy he used to be. Yeah, you're right. He's not 24 anymore. But let's see. Last year, he had over 140 tackles, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. He started every game of the year, and he had his 9th All-Pro selection out of 11 years. That's crazy.
Yeah. The man's invincible. I mean, and he's a legend. Look, everybody knows that Bobby Wagner is on a Hall of Fame projection. He's certainly, going to be in the Ring of Honor as soon as he decides to hang up his cleats. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost speechless. I'm still kind of like, just shaking, because this came out of nowhere. I mean, it's a Saturday. Nobody expects to hear about a signing on a Saturday. This isn't a news drop day. So I thought it was going to be another long weekend where we're just kind of waiting and, putting out on Twitter, when are they going to sign Bobby Wagner? There was a whole thread that I was following. I don't know if you were, where people were sending daily updates to John Schneider or to Pete Carroll and the Seahawks on Twitter saying, when are you signing Bobby Wagner? When are you signing Bobby Wagner? And apparently they were paying attention. And they dropped the news today. I think the first person to actually mention it was Quandre Diggs. Himself. Yes. I think he beat everybody else to the punch by announcing that Bobby Wagner was signing. And I know when that hit, there were definitely a lot of people that were like, is this real? Is this real? And it is. It's real. Bobby Wagner coming back to the Seahawks in a 1-year, $7 million deal. That's all we know right now. I'm sure there's going to be some details coming out soon, and more, and we're going to need some details, because obviously this puts the Seahawks, fumbling over my own words, the Seahawks in a pretty precarious situation as far as the cap goes. They were already up against, I think they had less than 10 million in available cap space, which wasn't even enough to sign the draft picks that they had, or the draft picks that they currently have. So we'll see what they're going to do. I expect there's going to be an upcoming move, a roster move, whether that's an extension to create cap space, maybe another release. Not really sure who that could be, although I think you have a couple of names in mind. Hopefully it's not a release. There's a guy I know that you're really thinking is going to be on the move here in the next couple of days, and hopefully there's some return for him. And that would be pretty much the perfect guy, because it would be opening up the exact amount of cap space we need, not just sign Bobby, but also put a little bit back in the bank to sign our draftees. So yeah, so we'll see. This is there's going to be some more news, definitely.
Oh, for sure. And I'll just let that cat out of the bag. I think there's a good chance, if they need cap space, And the way it looks right now is that they definitely need cap space. So that would be trading Noah Fant. It'll open up dollars in cap space. He's valuable right now. I mean, I would love to have him on the team. Be a great way if they could keep Bobby Wagner, maybe restructuring Diggs. Actually, I would rather extend Quandre Diggs than restructure him. But maybe do something with the Jamal Adams contract, Diggs contract. Metcalf just signed it, so they're not going to touch DK Metcalf's contract. But there's a few little things they can do. They might be able to extend some of the.
Tyler Lockett could be up for an extension. That would open up some cap space. There's definitely a few other moves, but I do agree. I think the trading of Noah Fant makes a lot of sense for several reasons. One, there's no dead cap hit. If we trade him, he's off the books. There's no dead cap money. That $9 million is free and clear. It's ours. And there's obviously some return there. This is looking like it's going to be a pretty good draft for the Seahawks. Gaining more draft capital would not be a bad thing because I do think the Seahawks want to make some moves to find their guys in this draft. Sure. And this is a really deep tight end draft. So which also kind of creates a little bit of an issue trading Fant there because I do think a lot of teams are going to wonder, well, this is really deep tight end draft. Do we want to trade draft capital to get this tight end, even though he is a known commodity? But hopefully they're able to work something like that out because there are some tight ends. We're not talking draft preview here, so I'm not going to get into it. But there are definitely some guys that I'm looking at for the draft. I know Robbie's got a few guys that he's hoping the Seahawks take a look at. I expect them to draft a tight end in this year, whether or not Fant moves on. But yeah, I think that would be the move. It's the right move to make. Hopefully they make it. So far, the Seahawks haven't really made any wrong moves. We can talk about some of the free agent signings and whether or not we agree with them, but they have not misstepped. There's been no missteps this offseason. Thus far, they've gotten rid of guys where, and they've gone younger because they needed to. They've brought in a lot of guys to create that depth they need along that defensive line and to fill the other holes that are there so that when we get to the draft, we are not drafting for need, something John Schneider said he wants to move away from. They want to take the best guy available, and I think they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's the strategy that I support. You take the best guy available, and then you work him in where he fits. It keeps you from reaching. It keeps you from going and getting an LJ Collier around earlier than he should have, or a Jermaine Ifedi around round and a half earlier than they should have. So move on from those type of guys. Pick the best guy on the board, trust your scouting. That's what they did last year, and it worked out great for us. And we will talk about this offseason and what the Seahawks have done. And that broadcast will be coming out to you all live on Tuesday night. So we'll get a good time in there. But right now, we'll see you on Tuesday night to talk about the offseason moves.
Yeah, for now, guys, we'll see you Tuesday. But hey, 54 is back home. Let's celebrate. Let's have a great weekend.
Exactly. Welcome back, Bobby Wagner. And like we end, like always, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.